Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I would love to be there to hug everybody's neck and just let you know how much I care about all of you while you're mourning. I've never done this before, so I'm trying to do this in one take without any rehearsal and just give you some honest reflections on my Uncle Butch. Um, they've got an expression here that I really love, and it's that someone has become part of the furniture. And what that means is that you're part of the family now. They're just like, oh, Marshall, you're part of the furniture now. That means I've been accepted, that they just see me as being part of the group. And I really like it. And most of my memories that I want to talk about today are going to be from childhood. They're going to be from, 20, 30, maybe 40 years ago. Um, but growing up, Uncle Butch was part of the furniture. I grew up in a way that was a lot different to the way a lot of you might have grown up. I grew up with my mom and dad in the house, my brothers. Next door were my grandparents. Next door to them was my Aunt Martha and Uncle Butch, and my cousins, Carrie, Kim, and Lee. A little bit down the road, my dad's parents lived. So we sort of lived on a family compound, and I didn't know that everybody didn't grow up that way. I thought everybody had their aunts and uncles and cousins around all the time until I got older, met my wife, and realized that her siblings live in 5 different states. So as a kid, we just always had family around. I remember going to fish in the pond that is in the woods behind our house, and Uncle Butch taking us fishing back there. Riding four-wheelers and motorcycles. He had a bloodhound once. This is just me, but this is one of the things I remember. He had a bloodhound named Doolittle once. And one of my favorite things to do when he had that dog was us boys, would try to run into the woods and hide, and he would track us down with the bloodhound. And I don't know why I like that so much. But every now and then I managed to evade him, and that made me feel really cool. If we needed help with math homework, which as you get into higher school and things like that, Butch was always good to come down. Later on, he took Stacy and my brother Travis. He got a boat, and they started, they progressed past fishing in ponds and went out onto the lake and things like that. And I know that when he was fishing, that might be when I think I saw him at his most content. He loved to fish. I don't think you can talk about Uncle Butch and not mention cars. He really loved cars. And my sense of time as a kid is probably distorted, but I'm pretty sure he got a new car about every 2 years. And it seemed like he washed that car every Saturday, which I always thought was kind of strange but he loved cars. And I remember he had a yellow pickup truck that we used to go fishing in, a little yellow pickup truck. I would say I never saw him, and again, these are my recollections. He's not my dad, so I don't have to, it's always easier when it's somebody else's dad, but my recollections are I never really remember Uncle Butch being really angry. Again, we weren't his kids, so I bet Carrie, Kim, and Lee have different remembrances of that, because I'm sure dads all get mad at their kids, but I never really remember him being real cross. He was very much, in my mind, a strong, silent type. My brother Stacy and I were talking recently, and we were just saying how it was a different time. We're talking about the 1970s. We're talking about 40-some years ago. Men were just quieter. Nobody talked about their feelings or things like that. Everybody just got on with their lives. If you needed something, you told them. If you needed something, you knew that you could ask and that he would be there to help. It was just, as a kid, he was just part of the furniture. He was just always there in the best possible way. I mean that, I'm not saying he was a wallflower. What I'm saying is that he was dependable and you could count on him. And I don't know if everybody grows up with that. I don't know if everybody grows up with their cousins, I'm getting a little emotional, with their grandmas and grandpas living next door, but I feel truly blessed to have been able to have that experience. Give me a second. First take, no rehearsal. I do have a regret that in the last several years I've sort of, you grow up, you have kids of your own, you have a job, you have a wife. I regret not having seen him more in the last years of his life. I have been overseas some of that time, but yeah, there's FaceTime and there's Skype and there's email. But life goes on, and we sometimes lose touch with people we knew and loved very much when we were young. And I regret not having seen him more in the last few years. So I know that it's going to be a hard time for Martha and Carrie and Kim and Lee, Sierra and Jody as you go on. But just think about how blessed you've been to have him in your life for this time that you've had him. If you have someone who means something to you, maybe learn from my regret here and tell them now. Tell them after this service. There's probably people in the room right now that you could tell that you love. Or that... I may pause it for a second. We'll see. Yeah, just tell people they're important to you. Pick up a phone and call someone. Go across the room and tell them, hey, I haven't seen you since that last wedding. Because sadly, weddings and funerals are when families get together these days. So don't wait until it's too late to tell someone that you love them. I love all you guys. I'm sorry I'm not there now. Thank you for all being part of my life growing up. And I'm really going to miss Uncle Butch. But I have a lot of good memories of him in my life. And for that, I feel blessed. This did not go the way I thought it was going to. But I think it's honest. And I don't speak in public very much. And I'm starting to ramble. So I'm going to say that we're praying for you guys. We love you. And again, I encourage you, let people know that they matter and that they're important to you before it's too late. I love you guys. Bye.